Hey everyone, Joey here, aka Animus, and it's time for part 9. Yes, this is the 9th penultimate part of my Kraftwerk marathon. We're almost at the end, guys, and today we're going to be reacting to their 9th album, Techno Pop, or apparently called Electric Cafe in some areas, or something like that, whatever. So we've just, the last 2 albums in their discography were 2 of my, big favourites that have happened so far. The Man Machine and Computer World. Both, I think, are commonly seen as classics as well. And, this album, I don't think is really seen as much of a classic. Although I have seen someone say that they, in my comments, that it's their favourite Kraftwerk album. That it's very underrated. And yeah, by the way, thanks guys for all the nice feedback that's been happening recently. I've got a few people who have been really actually quite closely following my videos when they come out and commenting. It's really nice to just, know that I'm entertaining people. So, before you say, I don't want to bore you with a massive detour about a personal story, but before you say anything about my arm, basically misjudged this jump I was doing on a bike, sort of going up a mound and down another one, and yeah, I misjudged the shape of them, so I ended up just, quite bad injuries actually, on my arm, on my hand, on my shoulder, arm pain, rib pain. I'm okay, but, just before anyone points that out, or wonders what it is. And yeah, let's begin the 9th album. The first track is called Boing Boom Tschak. Okay. Yes, that's the title. Ping. Turn it up a bit. This is weird. Hang on, when was this album released? 1986, so they had a 5-year gap. Maybe this is gonna, probably be, some sort of techno album, I don't know. Because I imagine techno had probably started to be a thing in the 80s, so maybe they were making an album. Yeah, this very much sounds very techno. Although I think they did influence the start of techno with the track Numbers, someone pointed out, yeah. And some various stuff they'd done. This is not what I expected, even though it's called techno pop. Yeah, something about those hi-hats, it's definitely very techno-ish. It's a bit of a Computer World-ish melody, as in the track Computer World. That little. Why is that making me laugh? Tschak, ping, 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 boing, 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 tschak, ping, ping. It's fun. It's a change in their musical style, I guess. definitely executing it well so far. Okay, we've gone smoothly into the title track, Techno Pop. This is nearly 8-minute track. Very strange, yeah, not what... I think I can understand how some, maybe after a big 5-year break, some, like, real Kraftwerk fans might have... I don't know if this is the best album to please big Kraftwerk fans, but I don't know. I'm only I'm only just starting the second track, so I don't know how it's gonna play out. But it does sound like quite a big change.
Electronic sounds, industrial rhythms all around.
Wait. Yes, they have actual slap bass in their tracks. This sounds like 808 State almost. Yeah, this sounds quite a lot like something you'd hear on Gorgeous all of a sudden.
Synthetic electronic sounds.
Synthetic.
Industrial rhythms all around.
I love that little clicky marimba-ish noise. Don't know if anyone sees what I mean about the 808 State comment, just some of the instrumental choices and structure of this track at the moment. Music non-stop, techno pop. And that sounds like a dishwasher. So weird on the computer over there, I can see the thing playing. And it says like playing on the phone. Weird how Spotify does that. I wonder if in my Spotify Wrapped it's gonna be like, you discovered Kraftwerk, you listened to 7 of their albums. Even though it's actually 10.
La música ideas guardará.
Was that?
Y siempre continuará.
Is that Italian?
Sonido electrónico.
It's either Italian or French.
Decibel sintético.
Yeah, that's Italian, definitely. That's a really nice noise there. The reverb on it is really good. I don't know if that's Italian again there. Odd that it's a German band on an mostly English track speaking Italian. Yeah, I can see how some people would be turned off by this record, but I think it's good to give themselves a bit of a switch up. Not that they weren't already doing loads of different things, but they just wanted to make a techno album, and Kraftwerk making a techno album is actually quite a good idea. Bit of a lack of melody in this bit. Might like a few more. I know it's supposed to be all percussive, but it's quite a long section with nothing. I don't know. I'm not a big person for tracks with not much melody in them because I feel like melody can be where the emotion lies in music. There we go. Yeah, that section was cool. Just thought maybe shorten it a little bit. Although maybe it's to make it more satisfying when the melodies do come in. Not sure. Still first listen, so you know. It's only my first impression in these videos. I can also see how someone might find this sounding a bit dated, but I'm very much used to this sort of sound palette, so, you know. Yeah, sometimes if you listen to a lot of 90s music, you play some 90s or 80s electronic music, you play it to someone and they're like, that sounds terrible, cheap. And you're like, no it doesn't. I'm just very used to that kind of sound in music. I don't know how long the techno scene had actually been going for in '85. Might not have been very long. This could be a very early album, or it could be, you know. Although Kraftwerk definitely don't seem like the kind of people who would make a style of music because someone else did it. It's usually completely the other way round, so it's quite likely that this was a very early techno album, but I'm not massively educated on the exact dates in history. I just really can't imagine, like I said. I love these little spoken word vocoder things, they're a lot of fun. Yeah, maybe this track's a little bit long for my liking. Well, it's not so much length, it's what it does in its length. I don't know. Oh, this. Music non-stop. That's what they were just singing there, so I don't know. This is going to be an extension of the track.
Music non-stop. Music non-stop. Music non-stop. Music.
I don't know if I'm going to get tired of that vocal line or not. Oh, that's really weird sounding. I'm just gonna look up. I'm gonna try and look up when techno originated from, because I think it might sort of quite affect my opinion of this album. Trying to find out when it rose to popularity. Let me just look it up. Techno. Sorry about the train. Teachers tell you not to trust Wikipedia, but I'm doing so right now. Okay. Of course, they're German, and techno came from Detroit mostly, so... German techno. So German techno might have been a different scene. It's come out with Detroit techno and German techno, so... When he started to categorize certain tracks by artists such as, okay, Kraftwerk are mentioned. In 1984. So yeah, in terms of German techno, I think this would have been very early. I don't know how well they would have. When did Detroit techno come around? During the mid-1980s. Okay, Kraftwerk are mentioned again. Juan Atkins, enthusiasm for Kraftwerk. That probably would have been about Computer World though, maybe, I don't know. Or if that was after Techno Pop. So yeah, I think they were very early in the scene. Definitely for German techno. I don't know if I have any techno experts in the comments who can help me. Sorry, that was a bit of a detour there. Just trying to work out where, you know, sort of the background of this album. It's not exactly clear, but...
Non-stop, 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 non-stop.
I don't know, this track's been slightly fading into the background for me. It hasn't been gripping my attention. I don't think it was the best idea to have this music non-stop thing carry on through about 14 minutes of music, but I hope I'm not offending that guy if he's watching this who said this was his favourite Kraftwerk album. However, this album so far is flowing very tightly. Like, it's been completely continuously mixed so far. Although, this might have been a bit more enjoyable back when it came out, because I'm someone who's listened to lots of music that could have been influenced by this, and in a similar style, probably from a bit later on. So this possibly sounds sort of, well, to my ears at least, it sounds like, you know, stuff I've heard before. But then maybe the stuff that I've heard that came later on would sound to people at the time like stuff they'd heard before, so it's really weird listening back to old music. Next track, The Telephone Call.
The number you have reached has been disconnected.
I like this, definitely. Right, this is album's picked up again. That was weird, I was like, I like this, definitely, when the track started. But yeah, I don't know, the album just feels like it picked up. That sounds very New Order, Depeche Mode, synth popish, that vocal line there. Although I'm not a synth pop expert, I do listen to a bit of that kind of music though. I loved all that telephone ringing and various sampling at the beginning as well. Sorry I talked over it. Okay, so more about being connected and technology. Like they explored on Man, Machine and Computer World. Seemingly. There's lots of interesting texturing on this one though compared to some of the previous tracks. A lot of different synth lines and bass and various little textures and things. Also the beat's very driving feeling.
The number you have reached has been disconnected.
Yeah, getting 808 State vibes again. With the crazy sampling and stuff. This is fun. Again, yet again, lots of stereo. By the way, my dad found an old pair of speakers, so now I've set it up with 2 pairs of speakers, so it gives me extra wide stereo, which makes these tracks a lot of fun to listen to. You know, something comes from right over there, and something comes from right over there. Catchiness on point again. Yeah, this has, compared to, I think it was just like sections of the title track and music non-stop just felt a tiny bit, you know, dragging a little bit. This is much more engaging, to my ears at least. But again, it feels really weird hearing this for the first time in 2020.
The number you have reached.
And like I said, after hearing so much later electronic music in a similar style. But yeah, that track was great. That zipped by. House phone. So something else about a phone. Okay, same melody. Is it another sort of part 2 track? Maybe. It's just gonna sort of go off on a big detour then. There's all these weird effects and stuff. That might be good. Although it probably would have been better if the tracks have flowed into each other, because this is like a part 2 track. It would have made a bit more sense if it had been continuous. Although I do like clearly links with the titles and the melody. Yeah, this album was also a bit heavier, sort of heavier and punchier than most Kraftwerk music. The drums definitely are quite loud and, you know, have that sort of, it's hard to describe that sort of very 80s sounding snares, that sort of slightly reverby, quite long sound. Sort of acoustic sounding and sort of electronic sounding. Like a techno 80s snare. I just feel really uneducated on musical history. Like, I swear. Nice sampling again. I feel like every time I say something about the history of a piece of music, I can just feel the comments coming on from people who actually know what they're talking about. Like, please do give me a bit of help. If anyone, you know, someone a bit older than me, more aware of the background and history of this record and the techno genre, that would help. God, what if this isn't really techno at all and I've just been speaking a little rubbish this whole time? Well, it is called techno pop, so pretty confidently say that this is probably call this a techno album, but screw genres anyway. We don't need to label everything. Although it is useful for talking about, like, you know, a musical scene. Just jog to the camera, sorry. I've done that before in my videos a couple of times. I don't think these sort of, you know, tracks that are extensions of the previous ones need to go on, you know, have these big long sections with a bit of a lack of melody like this, but I don't know. Not sure this is a record I can see myself always being in the mood for, that's the thing. I feel like I can't imagine maybe putting this on and feeling, getting a bit bored at some points, but don't speak too soon. New sound coming in. Oh, I really like that drumming. I don't know. I'm contradicting myself because it feels sort of a bit, some bits feel a bit strung out, but the thing as a whole still feels quite tight for some reason. It's weird. I think it's the transitions and like the constant, you know, beats and stuff. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, this track, Sex Object. A bit of a weird title and a bit of a weird sound. We've got an orchestra. Is that their, like...
I don't want to be your sex subject. Show some feeling and respect. I don't want to be your sex subject.
Is this commentary on something? I don't know if this guy's supposed to... Oh yeah, thanks someone for letting me know that it's mostly Ralph Hutter who sings on the tracks. I think this is, yeah, I heard Walkie Angle talk about something called the Orchestron, who, that could be what they're using for these sort of... I don't think that's a real orchestra, I think they're MIDI... No, not MIDI strings. It's probably on proper gear. Like, sequences probably, yeah. Oh yeah, sequences would have helped them out, like when they first came in, because then they start being able to actually loop stuff, I imagine. But yeah, what I was going to say was, I'm not sure if Ralph Hutter's actually speaking from, assuming it's him singing, from his point of view. He could be, I don't know, I have a feeling it might be singing from someone else's point of view, possibly, I don't know. I don't know, it's just a man singing, I don't want to be your sex object, I think. Possibly about, from the point of view of a woman, maybe some specific, something that had happened, I don't know. Is that like, maybe, perhaps, yes? Why is all this yes, no going on? Yeah, there's definitely something going on here that I don't exactly get. These lyrics are confusing me, as usual. I need to do a bit of research, or have one of the very kind and helpful people in the comments point something out about it. People who know a lot more than I do. Like I said.
I've had enough, and that's a fact.
I feel way out of my depth here. Because I'm normally only, you know, listening to instrumentals and stuff. That's my area of expertise, if I have one. Yeah, the strings are a bit of a weird choice, but...
Si quieres, no. Si quieres,
that's a different language. I think that's
quizás,
Spanish, maybe?
A lo mejor.
Slap the bass back. What was that? Okay, sorry, that was a terrible impression. Slap bass is back. I was speaking in some weird accent there. I always love the sound of slap bass in like techno and stuff.
no. Si quieres,
Si.
no.
Yeah, Italian again.
Si quieres,
No, that might be Italian again. I can't tell. They're using those are different languages.
porque,
A lo mejor.
No, that is Italian. Pretty sure, yeah. Much funk. Again, so, I am not funny, am I? I keep reusing much funk as a joke.
Why? No.
No. Why?
Maybe, perhaps. Yes.
Maybe, perhaps, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, there is a meaning here, I can tell. I just don't properly understand what it is. Yeah. 9. Yes, more yes and no. Trying to just work out what it could be. Could it be another track about online dating? That wouldn't have been a thing back then, but like when they did on Computer Love. The yes, no, swipe left, swipe right. I know that wasn't a thing back then, but always ahead of their time. I feel like I'm completely missing the point though, maybe. It's useless me trying to work out a meaning, I just can't do it. I suck so bad. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to look up lyrics and meaning later. That track sounded pretty interesting. Maybe not a massive highlight, but... Oh, last track, Electric Cafe. So I guess some tracks had this as the title track, and some tracks had... albums had... Versions of the album had this as the title track, but... Hang on. Isn't that the tune from, what's it called, Home Computer? I don't know. I'm gonna lie, those choirs sounding a bit cheap compared to the previous ones they used on stuff like Radioactivity. It's weird that there's a bit of a step down later on. think our melody is just really similar to the one on home computer. Or maybe it wasn't home computer, maybe not one, I don't know. Or maybe it's more fun to compute, but then didn't they have the same? I don't remember. Those synth wires do sound a little bit like something on a school keyboard. What? Sorry, I need to listen to that pitched up vocal there. More something in a different language. Is it in a different language? Can't hear. Yeah, really strange to have like a step down in quality of a certain sound. I can't hear what that's saying. Maybe it is in a different language, I don't know. Very interesting clip. Almost like drippy noise. Yeah, that's a different language, definitely. All I can hear is he went with her face, which I don't think is what it's actually saying. What if I'm right? I don't know what that would be supposed to mean. Sounds like French there. French or Italian? I think I might be French. Maybe the previous bits I thought were Italian were actually French, I don't know. It is called Electric Cafe, so I'm pretty sure. Wait, is cafe a French word? French in origin or Italian in origin? I don't know. Sorry, I'm being really dumb. I swear I know that anyway. Yeah, very interesting little noises here. Oh my gosh! It's Electric Cafe! How could I be so dumb? It's literally the name of the track! How dumb am I? That's what it was saying the whole time. I'm an embarrassment to my family. How can I not be able to hear that that was the title of the track? Electric Cafe. Okay, so that was the album. I don't know. Like, in the first few tracks and some moments, I had a lot of fun with it. Yeah, big highlights. First two tracks, Boom Boom Tschak and, well, most of Techno Pop. And the Telephone Call, the tracks that I would, you know, probably take away from this album, you know, the most memorable moments. Oh, this is saying 1986. I thought it said 85. Oh, it's 86. So, I am really, really conflicted on what I should think of this album. Because I really can't tell if this was made after techno was an established genre, like in Germany or in the world, or if this album was influential and original at the time. Because if Kraftwerk, which seems extremely unlikely, were actually going for a sound that was already established, that's very out of character. But this could have been very early, you know, German techno album. I don't know, maybe I should look at the Wikipedia page for this album as well. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that now. I'm just gonna check if it says anything about this is really bad that I'm having to low battery look at Wikipedia articles to help my opinion of an album, but using predominantly digital musical instruments. Okay, background is somewhat infamous for taking the band almost half a decade to make. Suffered a cycling accident, whatever. I suffered a cycling accident as well. Join the gang, Ralph Hutter, whatever. I can't. Pointed to the lack of a strong and sufficiently intriguing theme. Okay, it's not really saying anything about where it came, how important it was historically. How about I just think of about my personal enjoyment of that album. It's probably, I think I can safely say that I think this is their weakest album since Kraftwerk 2, unfortunately. They did have a big stretch of, like, absolute gems, but, so, I had a lot of fun at points, but then some bits felt a little bit strung out, and, so, yeah, forgetting about, historical importance and thinking about personal enjoyment, it's probably, like, well, also if I sort of convert it to, you know, we're talking about Kraftwerk, so I gotta be a bit pickier on them, seeing as they have so many classics. Well, no, I don't have to, but, you know, I don't. Compared to the other albums, and in terms of personal enjoyment, it's probably about a 6 or a 6.5, but I think it might have been quite an possibly, you know, quite an, you know, I don't know. I just don't know where it came in history. So, you know what, I'm going to give it, for being a new and exciting idea, and a new thing for the band to try, and also how a lot of parts of it come together quite well, and make, like, a tight experience, quite a fun experience. Well, not tight at all times, it gets a little bit dragged out at points, but I'm gonna give Techno Pop a strong 6.5 out of 10. Yeah. So, not the most amazing album, but I can't really see how it would be your favourite Kraftwerk album. Not really, but I can slightly see. I can see why you'd, you know, enjoy the experience of it. I can imagine having a lot of fun. I don't know, I think maybe my opinion's going to change over time. It's definitely something new for them to try as a band, and they get on pretty well, just not as anything that special in terms of how much I enjoyed it. So, yes, that was part 9. We only have one more album to go, Tour de France soundtracks. So, I guess we'll just see how that goes. We're almost at the end of the series. It's amazing. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed part 9, and I'll see you in the final part of this big adventure in music that we've had. Bye!